Thank you. Can I thank Sinn Féin for bringing forward this really powerful motion. I think it gives all of us an opportunity to once again discuss this really terrible situation in regard to paediatric, orthopaedic and urology services. Now, the Senior Minister isn't here. I thank Minister Butler for being here. But I listened to what the Minister had to say earlier, and despite the fact that he's talking about all his reviews and all his efforts, the fact is still that 78% of children are waiting longer than the Sláinte care target time for a paediatric orthopaedic inpatient appointment for CH1, and 81% are waiting longer than the target time for paediatric urology. So the fact of the matter is that his efforts are not bearing fruit. Now, the next thing I want to do is to welcome all of the families who came to Leinster House today. I'm sure some of them are still here in the gallery. And I'd say, like all the rest of the TDs here, it's just the hardest thing we have to do, is to go out and meet people who are sick and their advocates, and people who are waiting and waiting for health care. To have to meet those people either outside or inside Leinster House is such a difficult thing to do. And that's just for us. I mean, can you imagine how difficult it is for all of those people who travelled from different parts of the country today to stand outside their national parliament on a pretty cool February afternoon? I met a mother from Donegal whose daughter was with her in a wheelchair. She is waiting over 5 years for surgery. She tells me she has lost lung capacity, her curvature is 138 and her skin is broken by her bones. And when a mother says that to you, and you can see that little girl in front of you, you just don't know what to say, because it's just so heartbreaking. And yet they talk about one disappointment after another. That mother told me that she has had 2 pre-ops and 2 cancellations because of either no beds, no theatre, no staff. Right now she's waiting, she's told, 4 to 6 weeks. But as she said to me, she won't believe it until it happens. And the sadness in that woman's eyes and the hopelessness that I could see around me was just very difficult for all of those people here today. But you know, Minister, even when you speak to people who are very ill, there's still always hope that if they can access proper health care, things will improve. But today I chatted to a young man in a wheelchair. I asked him just to tell me his story. I had no idea who he was, and he told me, it's too late for me. He said, I waited and I waited and I waited, and finally, when I was getting my surgery, the surgeon told me nothing could be done. His condition is beyond medical intervention. Minister, when we get to that point, it's no wonder that one TD after another is standing up in this House, complaining strongly and vociferously about service that is failing young people and their families. But Minister, I didn't have to go outside Leinster House. I have many emails and phone calls from people in my own constituency, people who are waiting and waiting for surgery and physiotherapy. I'm dealing with one family whose daughter is on a waiting list. She is hopeful, 4 to 6 weeks, but Minister, under no circumstances do I want to get an email in 4 or 6 weeks' time from this mother telling me the surgery did not take place, because she's had one delay after another, and she has serious questions about the physiotherapy services that are being provided. They are totally inadequate. She's supposed to be seen every 4 weeks. It often runs to 8 weeks. The CD&T service, she said, is not working. I have another family, a little girl. She is on a waiting list since she was 18 months. She's now 6.5. So, Minister, it's no wonder that all of us here today strongly support this motion. And we ask you and Minister Donnelly to do something about it and help these people.